Today's topic is fractions, decimals, and percents. All right, we're going to start off with parts of a fraction. So the top part of a fraction is called the numerator. The bottom part of a fraction is called the denominator. All numbers that can be written as fractions are called rational numbers. Simplest form. Simplest form is a fraction that can't be simplified anymore. Fraction that can't be simplified any further. So an example, 1/2. Another example, 2/3. Another example, 4/5. These don't have any common factor besides 1. So they are in simplest form. Okay, we're going to write these in simplest form. So to start off, I'm going to look for a common factor. Well, since these are even numbers, I know that 2 is going to be a common factor. I know that there are other common factors as well, but if I'm not sure what they are, I know that 2 is at least 1. So I'm going to divide the top and bottom by 2. And I get 4/10. All right, well, I still have 2 even numbers. So I know again, I can at least divide by 2. I get 2/5. 2/5 is simplest form. They don't have any common factor besides 1. I'm going to try the same method with number 2. I see I have 2 even numbers. So I'm going to divide the top and bottom by 2. That leaves me 3/9. All right, now a common factor of 3 and 9 is 3. Both are divisible by 3. So I'm going to divide the top and bottom by 3. I get 1/3. So -6/18 in simplest form is -1/3. Okay, now I'm going to show you a different way to do this. You can also go until you find a common factor and then divide by that common factor. So for example, 21, 1, and 21, 3, and 7. So these multiplied together give you 21, and these multiplied give you 21. Now I'm going to do it for 27. 1 and 27, 3 and 9. And that's it. Those are my factors of 27. So let's look for the greatest. I see that 3 is a common factor. So I know I can divide both of these by 3. And I put 7/9. So 7/9 is simplest form. Okay, next one, I'm going to find the common factor again. So 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, and 4 times 6. Now we'll do 40. 1 times 40, 2 times 20, and 5 times 8. All right, so looking through these, it looks like 8 is my greatest common factor. So that means I can divide both of these by 8. I get a 3/5. So that's simplest form. Okay, number 5. Again, I can either list my factors or I can divide by 2 until I get down to simplest form. So divide by 2. That will give me -6/21. All right, so a common factor of 6 and 21 is 3. So when I divide both of those by 3, I get -2/7. All right, number 6. I'm going to do the factor way. 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 13, I'm sorry, times 12, 4 times 9, and 6 times 6. All right, we'll do 45. 1 times 45, 5 times 9, 15 times 3. All right, so it looks like 9 is my greatest common factor. When I divide by 9, I end up with 4/5. All right, 16 and 56. I'm going to show you a third way. If you have a multiplication chart, this way can come in handy. So I'm going to look for a column or a row that has 16 and a 56 in it and see if I can find the common factor. So down here, I'm going to start down here. I'm looking for 16. Here's a 16, no 56. Looking for another 16 and a 56. So here's 16 and here's 56. So since both of them are on this line, that means they have a common factor of 8. So I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 8. That gives me the answer 2/7. Let's try the next one, 18 and 3. So I'm looking for where I have it. Looking for the smaller number first, 3. And then here's 18. So that means that 3 is my common factor. Divide both top and bottom by 3. And I get 6/1, which is equal to 6. All right, number 9, 8 and 28. So I'm going to look for an 8, 28. Here's an 8, and here's a 28. So 8 and 28 have a common factor of 4. So I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 4. And I get -2/7. So you have 3 different ways. You can find the greatest common factor. You can do repeated division. Or you can use a multiplication chart. All right, improper form. Another word for improper form is a fraction greater than 1. It is where the numerator is larger than the denominator. The numerator is greater than the denominator. Our examples are 4 over 3, 7 over 4, 11 over 2. Numerator is greater than the denominator. Okay, mixed numbers. Mixed numbers contain a number and a fraction. So a whole and a part. Examples: 1 1/2, 2 4/5, 7 8/9. All right, now we're going to practice writing each improper fraction as a mixed number. So when you do this, you're going to divide. So I'm going to create my division symbol. Now the trick is knowing which number goes in here. It isn't always the bigger number. Sometimes it is. So this is how you're going to find that out. Just take your fingers and turn them. And whenever you do that, you'll see the numerator goes in here. So that means the 6 goes here. Okay, we're ready to divide. 3 times 6 is 18. When I subtract, I get 1 left over. And I'm going to put it back over that 6. Okay, next one. Again, the 26 is going to go in here. 3 is going to go here. So I have 3 times 8 is 24. When I subtract, I get 2. I'm going to put it back over that 3. Now this was negative, so I can't forget that my mixed number will also be negative. 17, 2, 9, 8 times 2 is 16. Subtract, I get 1, and I put it back over. So it's 8.5. 1 divided by 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract, and I get 1 left over. Put it over that 4. 5 and 1/4. 7 divided by 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract, I get 1 left over. Put it over that 3. 5 divided by 8. So I have 4 times 8, 32. Subtract, and I get 3. Put it back over that 8. This was negative, so my mixed number will also be negative. Right, write each mixed number as an improper fraction. So to do that, we start here and we multiply these two numbers. Then we add the numerator and put it back over the denominator. So let's start here. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 1 is 16. Put it back over the 5. And starting here, we're going to multiply and get 21, add and get 23. Put it back over the 3. Multiply and I get 10, add 9 and I get 19. Put it back over 10. And this is a negative fraction. Okay. Starting here, 2 times 13 is 26. And 26 plus 11 is 37. Back over to 13. This was a negative fraction, so my improper will also be negative. Starting here, multiply and I get 28, add 3 and I get 31, back over 7, negative 31/7. Okay, start here, multiply, get 80, add 1, 81, back over the 8, 81/8. All right, now we're going to move to page 6 in our packet. So this is converting fractions, decimals, and percents. So we're starting with this fraction. To convert it to a decimal, you divide the numerator by the denominator. Now, for this, we can use a calculator. So I am going to type in the 9, and then a divide sign, and then the 16, and hit equals, and I get 0.5625. 0.5625. So that's the decimal for this fraction. Now to change the decimal to a percent, I need to move it 2 places to the right. So 1, 2, we put it right here in between the 6 and the 2. So this would be 56.25%. All right, this one we're working backwards. So we have 84%. To turn it into a decimal, we're going to go the other direction, the left 2 places. So this would be 0.84 or 84 hundredths as a decimal. Okay, to transfer it to a fraction, we're going to read it, write it, reduce it. So when I read it again, it was 84 hundredths. So I'm going to write 84 hundredths. And now I need to simplify. So 84 and 100 are both divisible by 4. So in simplest form, it would be 21/25. All right, repeaters. Decimals with a repeating digit can be written with a bar to show their repetition. The denominator for these fractions is always 9. So for example, if I have an answer like 23.444 and it keeps going, then I can write that as 23.4 with a bar over the 4 to show that it repeats. All right, so we're going to do 3 of these together, and then I want you to finish the rest on your own. So I'm going to start with the first one. I want to convert this to a decimal. So I'm going to use my calculator and do 9 divided by 20 equals 0.45. To convert it to a percent, I'm going to move it 2 places to the right, which would put it right here after the 5. So it would be here. So we don't have to put it. It is given that it's 45%. All right, next one, we're going to have to move backwards. So that means moving it 2 places to the left. Well, that leaves me a gap. So I'm going to fill it in with a 0. So this would be written 0.05 as a decimal. Now to a fraction. This would be read 5 hundredths. 5 is in the hundredths place. So I'm going to write 5 hundredths, just like I read it. Okay, both of these are divisible by 5. When I divide both by 5, I get 1/20. Okay, next one. I can move this 2 spaces to the right, and that gives me 26%. I read it, I'd say 26 hundredths. I write 26 hundredths, and then I simplify it. So these are both divisible by 2. So in simplest form, it would be 13/50. So you are going to finish the rest of this page, and then you're going to work on homework 2.